This is gut check time for the Democrats. If there was ever a time not to back down, it's now. It's not the United States of America that needs reform. It's the United States Congress, and particularly the Senate. We should have compromise. No, we should have a principled compromise, never a compromise of principle. I was outraged when Ben Nelson reached over, and others reached over, to close a deal. But where are our senators, like Senator Ed Kennedy, to have shaped that deal? Massachusetts spoke so loudly for many of us. Hawks on both your houses. We voted for a change. But it wasn't just a change in policy. It was a change in politics, to where people were in it because they were public servants. My district doesn't always agree with me. When I voted for that bailout bill, 4,000 emails, 92% of them said, don't you dare vote for that. But I did. And I explained it. My job doesn't matter. Those 11 million that we have to soak up to be back on the payrolls, their jobs do. Anybody who's spoken before me is a better politician than I am. I grant you that. But I promise, more than anything else, that you will have the most honest, most hard work, most energetic, and most wanting to be held accountable for my responsibility senators you could ever have. And when I leave you with just one story, if anybody doesn't think we're great, you just haven't worked with the youth of America. Go on an aircraft carrier. 5,000 youth. You know what those sailors' average age is? 19 and a half. They run a nuclear reactor and they launch you off into war. And something else they teach you. As the pilot turns on their engines and then has under the belly of the plane what he or she cannot see, gets it attached to a catapult to fling you off into the night. And then all of a sudden they've got to stop. Something's wrong. Nobody will turn off their engines until they've known they've been detached from that catapult. Because those kids are brave. But they can make a mistake and lean against that button, and off you go with the catapult, and if your engines aren't turning, you're going down, not up. One of the more amazing acts I've ever seen occurs. This young, average age, 19-and-a-half-year-old man or woman, and I stress man or woman, comes out on that deck and goes under the belly of that plane and detaches it from the catapult. And then turns and walks in front of that plane. And just stands there. Gives a very simple signal that says everything. Go ahead. Shut off your engines. Get out of that plane. Because I'm going to stand right here. I wasn't just responsible for undercruise, but I'm also accountable enough that if I made a mistake, as you go overboard, I will go overboard with you, with my life. Heaven forbid that we could have public servants in the United States Senate, House of Representatives, where there are good and women, but with that type of principle over politics approach. That type of accountability is what this nation yearns for. Michelle, thank you for the time. Thank you for those who nominated me. And thank you for the last 3 years of serving me. Thank you.